Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we are at the ABV Barrel Shop tasting bar, where we're going to be tasting something that the guys that I'm here with have no idea what it is. It's going to be fun. It's a secret. I think you guys are actually going to like this. It's a new product, but we'll unveil that in the second half of the show. For right now, we're just kind of talking. So my name's Steve Akeley. I'm joined by Jim Fosnot and Kyle Neely. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, Steve?
Good. So this is going to be a fun show. So this is something that I've been really interested in. I don't know if it's in Missouri yet or not. I haven't seen it, but of course I haven't even really been going to liquor stores. I now own one, so I pretty much just go here. So it could possibly be here. Maybe everybody's like, oh, it's all over. Why did you go there today? So I got it when I was in Kentucky and saw it, grabbed it, and then thought I'd bring it here and we could talk about this because it's pretty unique. So it's got a great story here. The listeners will be like, well, it says in the description, we know what it is. Well, yes, you guys know what it is, but these guys don't. That's the key. The people that are getting ready to taste this have no idea what it is.
I know you're drinking it with us, so it's not going to be bad. You're not pouring me crap if you're drinking it too.
I think I've drank out of a brown paper bag before.
Yeah,
so
it's in a paper bag here. Yeah, it's in a paper bag. So what I want to ask you guys about, I think that there has been this shift in drinkers. I know that when I was coming up through the ranks, now I was an early adopter of bourbon because I drank it my whole life. My parents, that's what they had. And that's what when you're a kid, you sneak drinks, and I liked bourbon. I had a taste for it. But the conventional wisdom at that time in the 80s and into the early 90s was you grow into becoming a whiskey drinker, that your palate refines eventually, and that's what you come into. And I guess there's still some of that today. You see people that are drinking Fireball, all that, are like, all that down the road they'll be drinking, bourbon and the good stuff. But it amazes me the number of young people that are right out of the gate are whiskey drinkers or bourbon drinkers. It seems like more and more that this generation is adopting and adapting to bourbon early on. Do you guys feel the same way about this?
I think I feel the same way. Back when my day,
yes.
Early 90s, it was
Hammer time.
The big thing. You can't touch this.
It was too legit to quit.
Yeah.
And a little bit of vanilla ice.
Yeah.
But it was all beer, and craft beer started hitting the scene. But a lot of the bourbon, I just wasn't exposed to a whole lot, especially good stuff. Now, my older brothers, I had one about 20 years older, and then my dad, they used to drink a lot of what they call highballs, or what we called Neely, fill half the glass with whiskey, then the other half with soda and maybe a couple ice cubes. And that was my exposure to it. But I didn't drink a whole lot of that, so I started with beer, then slowly moved to craft beer. Amber Bock was one of my favorites, started getting off the lager sort of train, and then got heavily into the craft beer, but then switched to Maker's a little bit, Maker's Mark, and slowly got off to mixing that stuff. I had a guy who said, "You don't drink Maker's Mark with Coke
Can you
or
imagine?
anything."
Like it's so highbrow.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I was scared. I'm like, okay, just a little bit of water, but eventually I started drinking it neat and got to where I am today. But that was many years now.
Hell, Jim was an old man when he started drinking bourbon.
I was. When I was, like you said, my 20s, it was shots of tequila or people doing Jack and Coke. Like anybody who knew drinking whiskey was pretty much Jack and Coke was what they were drinking. Now, I have a son who's 25, and he is pretty well versed in bourbon. He's had more great bourbons than any 25-year-old should probably ever have.
Right. So he's part of this young generation that's early adopters. Yeah.
We did last night. We had a great night. We've got some property. We went out there right at dark, jumped on the quad runners, and went trail riding at night. Then there's a bonfire pit out in the property. He lit a fire. We sat there and each had a little whiskey and smoked a cigar. So he's all into that kind of thing. So it was a great night, and he'll definitely do some whiskey. He does all his whiskeys neat. He doesn't put anything in them. So I've taught him well. Do
his buddies drink bourbon too? Are they whiskey drinkers?
A couple of them do. And he talks about it at work all the time. So he's got a lot of coworkers who he'll talk about the shop with, and they get in conversation. So I think significantly more of that age now are into it than when we were that age.
Yeah, for sure.
So my brother came up and brought his two son-in-laws with him. One's 25-ish, the other one's 22-ish. And both were slowly trying to get them into the whiskey bourbon industry. And so we went to this little festival and just to try to see what they like. Because they always wanted to go to the trail with us. It's like, well, let's just start somewhere local before we do all that.
Right.
See if you like it. One's a big craft beer drinker. And I don't know if we swayed his taste, but he did try a lot of stuff, and he was enjoying it. The other one, I think he's getting really the hang of tasting it, because a lot of times, first time you want to do is you want to shoot it or something like that. I'm like, no, you got to warm your, Kentucky hug, warm your palate, get it all in, let your tongue, your mouth get really accustomed to it. And after he started doing that, we picked a few things that actually the guys at the Bourbon Shop sold me and trained me on, and we started hitting some of the notes. So it was really fantastic. I think he could be, in a few years, a really good bourbon drinker.
That's good.
It's funny to talk about they shoot it. And we get that in here. Like, you'll have some of the younger ones come in with, whether it's their parents or sometimes just they're in with a group. And, we're after we card them, we find out they're, 22, 23 years old. And, we can try before you buy here. We've always got a couple pours for free. And every time you give those young guys the pour, they do it as a shot.
Yes.
And then, by the way, that shot's 125 proof you did, and they're going to feel that one. You're not shooting Jack or something here. So, we have to kind of educate them on these aren't shooters. These are sippers. You're going to feel a little bit of a Kentucky bear hug at that point when you're shooting 125 proof.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to some of the classes coming up in the future here, and just get my palate going and getting my nose back. Well, COVID took it away for a little while, but it's coming back fairly strong. And hopefully I can get some good information out of here and start training some of the younger generation.
You're going to start training the younger generation.
I feel like the Rocky music playing in the background while his cousins are drinking. There's the theme song playing.
I'm going to get my ABV Barrel Shop certification card here shortly.
Okay, that's good.
Do we have one here yet?
No, but we'll get one for you.
Yeah.
We'll get one for you. Certified trainer.
It'll have nice pictures on it for you.
That's it. That's been, my kid is darn near perfect. But the only thing that's a slight disappointment, she's not a bourbon drinker. So she likes craft beer, tequila. But never does not like whiskey at all. So it's disappointing.
I still like some craft beer, but it's just, I'm already overweight, but it bloats me even more, and then I can't fit in any of the pants or anything. So that's where the bourbon really, really helps out a lot, because you're only filling
It's very slim.
It's very slim.
Yeah.
It's like wearing black clothes.
Yeah.
It's like the little black dress of spirits.
Yeah. You look good. You look good.
Thanks. And it's I think it's low carb. So
sure.
Get. I think it's a good diet food. Maybe
You're on a program now.
Yes. So, looks like the diet's working for you.
Yeah, it's going well. It's going well. So,
speaking of diet, so I am a buffet guy.
I mentioned that.
And I love to get my money's worth. So anytime I go to something and there's all you can eat, all you can drink, I splurge. So this was really one of my first bourbon events or festivals, and I probably tried way too much and too many things. What advice do you have for some of these, even me as an older person, but some of the younger generation when you're at something and trying to sample? How do you finesse or go through the day and drink appropriately, but taste the cool stuff you want to.
And that's the trick there. Typically, they will tell you what will be available that day, and kind of have a plan going into it of which ones you really want to taste. And if they've got all the basic stuff that you've had before, skip those ones. If you you can only enjoy so much of it. You were feeling no pain in here on Saturday, buddy. So you did maybe. And fair to say you had someone driving you, so thank you for that. I think the big thing to me is see what they do have available and plan out. I want to taste this, this, and this, and then if you still got something left in your palate, then
it's not a power drinking test. Yeah, just get pick and choose, man.
Now, how do you have any good advice on cleansing your palate after you drink like so many? Because after a while, they all started tasting pretty darn good, and I know they all weren't good.
Right. I mean, just to me, it's water. Nothing else really works.
Bubbles for me, so if you have carbonated water or something like that, bubbles helps clear the palate to me more than anything else with that.
There you go, buddy.
That's cool. That's great advice. Can't wait to try it at my next one.
All right. I know
they got a couple coming up in St. Louis this fall. So,
all right. Well, no pre-show cork pop, because we are going to pop the cork on the one thing that we're drinking here after the break. So what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll have the big unveiling. We'll talk about this product, talk about why it's unique, and then we're going to taste it and see if it lives up to expectations. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Hi, this is Mr. Bill. You're listening to Bourbon Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Steve Akeley, Kyle Neely, and Jim Fosnot. We are at the ABV Barrel Shop Tasting Bar, and we're going to try something live here, something that none of us have tasted before, so it should be pretty interesting. I think this one's pretty special, too. I think that the distiller behind this is really going out on a limb here, and it's like nothing that we've ever seen before, so that's pretty interesting. So on that note,
here comes the peanut butter whiskey.
We will unveil what we've got here. Here it is. So this bottle cost $80. $80. So this is Hardin's Creek from Jim Beam. And what is so unique about this, it's a 2-year-old bourbon that cost $80 from a major heritage brand. Now, what we know about the major heritage brands is typically their whiskey is not very good that young. So the fact that Freddie No has come up with something, a 2-year-old whiskey, and I wonder what he's done behind the scenes to make this taste good, because usually it needs more time in the barrel. You know, you got that continuous column still, and you're not able to make those finesse cuts like you can with the pot still. So, and you're using barrels that aren't, air seasoned, other than a very short amount of time. So typically that whiskey doesn't live up to expectations. This, 2 years old, does. Now, in there it does say, one of the secrets is revealed. I read the little book. So Freddie No's signature thing is he likes the neck hanger. So I read the entire thing. It's basically story of Jim Beam, and then it does say that this was distilled at a lower proof. That is going to be one of those things that is going to give you a better tasting, more flavorful whiskey, grain forward out of the gate. So but that's all that it says. It doesn't say anything else about different barrels or anything like that. So this is going to be interesting to me. Does this hold up? It is an $80 whiskey. Again, 2 years old from Heritage Brand, not from a craft.
But 2 years old means the youngest whiskey in there is 2 years old. Do you know if it has 8 and 10-year-old?
Look at the color of it. What do you think?
It
looks like Wesson. It looks like Wesson to me, basically.
The bottle does look amazing. That is one bottle I see off the shelf, and I'm intrigued. So I'm definitely going up to it.
The bottle's cool. It's got like a leather wrapper on there. It's got what's interesting too, and I assume this is all intentional, but like it's cut off, like the label's cut too short, like the Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey across the top is cut off. The some of the picture on the side cut off. So very interesting. So
it looks more handmade than
It is a good looking bottle
and old school.
Yeah, it has more of that kind of pre-prohibition or right after prohibition kind of feel.
It is good looking. So and James B. Beam, his signature's on the side, which is kind of cool. So let's hear what we got cork pop wise. Here we go. See what Freddie did with the cork pop. Oh, solid. A lot of research and development was done to ensure that the cork pop was solid. So
I'm still going to say Neely won the cork pop, though.
I'm pouring the first one.
Even though he didn't,
Even though he wasn't in there?
Yeah. We got to throw him a bone, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tiny pour there. You sure you're going to be able to make a judgment on that?
Oh.
All of a sudden, Kyle Neely is very...
Saturday. I'm still feeling Saturday.
Yeah. Still feeling Saturday. All right. So let's talk about this one on the nose first. Did you already drink it?
No.
Okay,
No.
I thought it took a sip too.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It smells sweet on the nose. It's light, clean.
Smells like a really good drinker.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like I said. I get this Orville Redmacher popcorn oil, and it's kind of that color. It's kind of yellow and slight orange tint to it. So interesting. It does look to me like a 2-year-old whiskey would, 2-year-old bourbon. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let's try this out. Let's taste. Cheers, gang. Let's see what we got. That is indeed very different. Yes. It's nice.
It's sweeter than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Getting a little warm a little bit later on.
Yeah. Comes in 108 proof.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. Boy, that is nice.
Drinks way lower than 108 proof. Definitely sweet up front.
Mm-hmm.
Nice finish though. Nice hug.
Grain forward corn. You taste the corn.
Definitely the corn.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I would definitely buy.
Yeah.
That's you can tell that coming off the lower proof, like that's where you're getting those grains.
Kind of got some leather notes in there too. So it's complex. It's really good.
I wouldn't. I'm no major connoisseur, but I wouldn't guess it's 2-year-old.
Yeah. That is quite good. That is.
Freddie does it again.
Freddie wins. He's winning the internet and doing some great things. He continues to work his magic. Again, he's dedicated to the craft of distilling. He's not doing what Beam's always done because that's what Beam does. He's doing different things, challenging things. I mean, when would you ever think a big heritage brand would come out with an offering like this? And there's a lot of money put into this. This is a unique bottle. This is, got a real heavy cork on there, the leather thing. This is an expensive proposition to do this.
But this is what I think they did right, and I think so many do wrong, is they put it in a beautiful package. So it catches your eye. And if you put good juice inside of a beautiful package, people will come back for it time and time again because they'll buy it a lot of times that first time just for the look.
Right.
And there's so many people that we know that just have a great product with crappy packaging, and so it doesn't take off. And this here is both. It's a great product with great packaging.
Yeah, just looking at it, if it was on the shelf, I wouldn't even know until you really read some of the small print that it's a Jim Beam product.
Yeah.
But I don't know about what's Hardin's Creek.
I think that's the water source when early Jim Beam was being made. So I think, but I don't know. We'd have to look.
It's definitely catching my eye. And
Wes Hardin claims it was named after him.
Wes Hardin,
and it is spelled the same way.
Yeah.
Hardin, that's how he does spell it.
It is a little
V-I-N.
dusty, even though it's a 2-year-old.
Yeah. So interesting. It is really legit good. It is something that I would buy. I feel good about my purchase.
Is that coming off their main still, or?
I don't know. They do have a smaller column still now in their that the craft distillery that they've got. And if you think about it, it's been around that long now. It hasn't been open that long, but they were behind the scenes distilling and already working. So if that is legit, just 2-year-old whiskey in there, it could have been made at the new craft distillery, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, it would make sense if it did, because that's kind of what they built that still for. Mm-hmm. And if that did work on, then kudos, man. Good job on that.
Yeah.
Was this hard to acquire?
Yeah, I only went to one store. I went to a Kroger, and it was there. They do have limit 1 bottle per person on this, so I guess it's pretty popular so far. So, and again, I don't know where it's roll out, if it's going to be across the country, if it's a Kentucky only. I don't know that much of the backstory here. I just been wanting this because and they got another one too, like a 14-year-old or something like that, an older one, I think. That is in the same sort of packaging, but I was more interested in this just because it's so unique. I mean, 2-year-old. What are they doing in there with that? So
Plus, it's got your name on the package, Colonel.
Colonel, sure it does. I am a Colonel, is the same as Jim Beam. We are Kentucky Colonels, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Good stuff. So there you go. There it is. I would check it out. If you see a bottle, grab it. And if you are into very different and unique, it's not the traditional just Kentucky bourbon taste, but if you like something that's just a little bit different, this will hit the mark for you, I am sure. On that note, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Kyle, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me at the ABV Barrel Shop or on Facebook, Kyle Neely.
All right. How about you, Jim?
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnot, on Instagram at FozJim, or hanging out with Steve and Kyle Neely here at the ABV Barrel Shop in Arnold, Missouri.
All right, for me, I'm easy. You got to find them at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's the one you got to check out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Please, if you like what we're doing, give us a 5-star review. It helps new people find the show, especially when you write comments on there. That truly helps out. And also, if you want to get involved, head over to patreon.com/abvnetwork. All right, gang, good job today. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Have a good one.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.